electric power taking over in the near future. I'll be glad to take a few more questions. Yes, ma'am. It's fine.
How many miles out would the train have to get before the gate drop?
Before the crossing gates drop? Let me think about that a second. Okay, I have a good answer for that. I recently called in a malfunction signal on CSX, and their signal maintainer actually called me and explained. The way that works is, when the train is rolling down the track at whatever speed it is, it trips a sensor, like your car does when it trips the stoplight. And the guys told me when the train is going, the weight of that train will push it down. It takes the gates about 20 seconds to come down. And it will probably take about another 30 seconds for it to get there, depending on the speed. Now, if he's going 55 miles an hour, it'll take him 20 to 25 seconds to get there. But if the train is slow, the fellow told me that the sensor is very, very sensitive, because sometimes the gates will come down when they're not supposed to. And I recently did that, was it Saturday? Yes. And I thought it was very neat to talk to a signal maintainer from CSX. I was very impressed. But that's a really good question.
So you're saying it depends on, a lot of it depends on how fast the train
It depends on how fast, because if it's going slow, it will come down and the train will go, and sometimes it will think the train is stopped and then it will go back up. Then when the train gets closer, the gates come back down again. So I was really happy to talk to that man. The man was as nice. We had probably a good 3 or 4 minute conversation.
don't run the gate.
Yes, please don't. There was, I'll tell you something real quick, train accidents with cars was up several years ago, but that has quickly declined. One program is Operation Lifesaver. If any of you guys don't know who that is, it's a nonprofit organization that was founded in 1972 to aware public like us about railroad rights of way safety. And they have a website. I encourage you to Google that. They have a lot of educational videos that actually present a lot of shocking statistics over the years past. But according to my understanding, the accident rate between trains and cars is lower because of more awareness. And I've been in the trains for 20 years. I've supported the organization for 10 years because of its teachings. Yes, Faith?
So if you had infinite amount of money and you could pick any train project that you think really, really, really needs to be done, what do you think should be done?
That's a good question. Well, if I was, let's say I was working for a railroad, for example, and I had some money to invest in some projects. Well, I would definitely look at our infrastructure and see where it is and replace any aging infrastructure that we may have, because part of it is when trains are going across, sometimes that infrastructure will give out. I would put some money toward that because my recent understanding is the infrastructure in the U.S. is not substantial. And I think railroad infrastructure falls along in that area because a lot of this infrastructure is over 100 years old. I mean, they have no signs of breaking down whatsoever, but eventually it will. So if you're go ahead and invest the money, I would definitely do that. Number two, if locomotives are badly damaged or they can't be fixed anymore, I would retire those and replace them with new locomotives to meet the requirements. Or rebuild locomotives that we have on the roster. That's
So
what
no
I would really
grants
spend
like
money.
DC to Miami or Vegas to San Francisco or...
That I do see, because I really think that the cross-country travel out of our nation's capital would be a good idea. We have some long-distance travel. One example is from Lawrence, Virginia, all the way to Sanford, Florida. That's the Amtrak's auto train. And I wish they would have a train that goes longer distance, spanning from the East Coast to the West Coast. That would be a really good project for Amtrak. And if they did that, I'd be like one of their first customers. Because I do it. Because if you take the train, you go cross country, which I encourage you to do, you get to see the countryside, which is the best part about train travel. And I absolutely love it. Yes, ma'am, Samira.
When you was talking about the short lines, what did you say that NPBL stood for again?
That's a good question. It's Norfolk Portsmouth Belt Line because it's on the Norfolk/Portsmouth Chesapeake border. That company's been around a long time, longer than some people may think. They've been around, I believe, since the 50s or early 60s. And that company has downsized over time, and Norfolk Southern owns the company, and they just pay the lease. But not much goes on over there. They just mostly just switch the little yard, and they just make deliveries to Norfolk Southern and interchange with CSX. That's all they do. I'll be glad to take a few more questions. If you have not gotten one of my business cards, I still have some. I believe they're in the back. I encourage you to pick one up. Thank you. I'll come get you in a minute. Before I hand over your class to your professor, I have a little something for it. Will you come up, please, sir?
Not a train.
No, it's not.
Not a train.
My parents don't know I did this. I've done this for the course of about 4 days. I have a lot to say about this, Professor. I know you are. But this man right here has been one of my best friends at Wesleyan for 4 years. When I met him when my orientation back in, I believe, 2014 or 15, he set up a booth in the CMAC in Baton, and we were talking business, and we started talking trains. I thought to myself,
I didn't start talking.
no, we started talking about it, and I remember it, and I was like, this guy seems pretty cool. So my first year goes around. Second year, I took ISP with him. And I was sitting in the back room, I was thinking, this guy looks familiar. And he looks at me and says, you're the train dude. And I said, yes, I am. And we've gotten to be really good friends, and I have a little present for you. And I've written this letter for you to keep, and I want this class to know how much of an impact you've made on my life. It says, Dear Professor Ewell, a simple thank you from my heart does not express the experience I have enjoyed in Virginia Wesleyan's Management, Business, and Economics program. The experience and knowledge of business I have learned has been a wonderful 4-year experience. You have been a positive influence and a great mentor these 4 years. I always enjoyed hearing, howdy, how are you? Ships are better than trains. And I love Mack trucks each time I see you. Out of all the business professors I've had, you are the best of the best. You set a positive example not only for me, but for the students and faculty at Virginia Wesleyan University. I wish all faculty and students have as much enthusiasm about business like you do. Our conversations about trains and business are memories I treasure. Your teachings have inspired me to do well, and I will encourage future business students to learn from you. Thank you very much for allowing me to have a wonderful college experience, and I look forward to seeing you as often as a Virginia Wesleyan alum. Sincerely, that's all. And this gift I've made for you is a token in my appreciation.
Oh wow, it's got the railroad spikes.
2 railroad spikes and 2 trains. You're welcome. Take a copy of the letter for you.
By the way, you notice he said I was cool.
I've
been called a lot of things. Never have I been called cool. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you like to see 2 railroad spikes? They're cool.
I worked on that in the course of about 4 days.
So like, can we put one through his heart? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. We'll take a little break if you'd like to hang around and chat with Pat for a few minutes.
I'll be sitting in the back of the room if anybody has any additional questions that they may have. And
Thank you.
with that, we're done.
We're done? Good job. I would have thrown a tie if I knew that was going to happen. So we'll take a